If you run a WooCommerce store, you know how messy order questions can get. A customer places an order, then asks something by email, through a contact form, or in a separate support thread, often without the full order context. JetMessenger solved this by keeping the conversation connected to the place where it belongs. It's a new WordPress private messaging plugin from Crocoblock that adds contextual chats to your site. So a chat can be tied to a WooCommerce order, a product, a specific user, or a post, and users start the conversation exactly where the question appears. That makes JetMessenger useful for more than just standard store support. On marketplaces, chats can start right from a product page, so the seller instantly knows which item the buyer is asking about. For directories, each message carries the context of the listing it came from, giving providers a clearer idea of the visitor's interest and request. On booking platform, users get a way to clarify timing, availability, or service details before making a booking. In LMS websites, a student may contact a tutor or site admin from specific lesson instead of sending a disconnected support request. For service portals, private chats help users confirm project details before payment or discuss a specific paid service after the order is placed. On membership sites, private messaging keeps conversations with admins or support teams inside the website, without switching to email or external apps. Now let's move to the basic setup and see how the chat flow is created. After installing and activating JetMessenger, you can launch the setup wizard. Here, choose the context you want to use on the site, such as direct messaging, post messaging, WooCommerce Order Messaging, and WooCommerce Product Messaging. Next, JetMessenger needs pages where these conversations will be displayed. For direct messaging and post messaging chats, you can select an already created page or initiate the creation of a new one. For WooCommerce Order and Product Chats, JetMessenger can also route conversations through WooCommerce account endpoints, so the chat experience becomes part of the customer account area. After that, the wizard asks how the chat components should be added to those pages. First, select the builder you're using. Then you can let JetMessenger insert the chat components automatically or choose to add them manually later. For direct and post messaging, the chat interface can be inserted directly into the page content or into the pre-built template. WooCommerce Order and Product Chats work a bit differently if they use WooCommerce account endpoint routing. In that case, the chat UI is rendered inside the configured account endpoint page. Then you'll see the setup summary. If you chose to insert chat elements manually, the summary reminds you which pages still need manual setup. Once the wizard is complete, you're taken to the JetMessenger settings. You can come back here anytime to adjust page URLs, context routing, starter messages, the product chat button position, notifications, privacy options, and limits. The plugin adds two main elements. My Chats creates the chat inbox itself, the list of conversations, the message area, and the reply field. Start New Chat creates the button that starts a new conversation. Here you choose who the message goes to and what context this chat belongs to: direct chat, post chat, WooCommerce Order Chat, or Product Chat. Both elements are available in Elementor, Gutenberg, and Bricks, so you can place them inside the building workflow you normally use. And one important thing: users need to be logged in to start and use chats. For logged out visitors, you can show a login message or send them to the login page. Now let's look at the main feature, WooCommerce Order Messaging. Once a new order is placed, JetMessenger can automatically create the appropriate conversation between the customer and the seller. You can also customize the starter message. This is the first message users see in the chat, and it can include dynamic order data like the customer name, order ID, order details, total, and a link to view the order. There's also an option to add a chat about this order button to the WooCommerce order detail page, after checkout or later from the order page. Here I'm placing an order as a buyer. And because this order includes products from different sellers, JetMessenger creates separate order conversations for each seller. Inside the WooCommerce account area, the buyer can open the order messaging endpoint and see these chats in one place. Each chat already has the automatic starter message with the order summary. And in the chat list, each chat item shows useful details like the vendor name, last message time, and order number, so it's easier to understand what each conversation is about. I'll send a quick question here and switch to one of the sellers. On the seller side, the same order messaging area shows chats from the customers who bought this seller's products. So if several buyers contact this seller, all order conversations stay organized in one place. And if there are multiple sellers on the site, each seller sees only the order chats related to their own products. That's the main advantage. Instead of scattered emails, contact form messages, and missing order numbers, the full conversation stays connected to the actual WooCommerce order on the same platform where the purchase happened. Now the next WooCommerce feature is product messaging. This one works before the purchase. Instead of waiting until the order is placed, a customer can open a product page and ask the seller a question right there. In the settings, you can enable WooCommerce Product Chats, choose the account endpoint where these chats will appear, and set the button label. You can also choose where the button appears on the default WooCommerce product page. Or if you're using a custom single product template in JetWooBuilder, you can select manual insertion and add the Start New Chat widget or block yourself. Here I'm opening a product page and there's the button with the label we set in the settings. When the customer clicks it, JetMessenger opens the product messaging area in My Account and starts a chat connected to this product. This time the customer starts the conversation manually, so I'll type the first message. Now on the seller side, the seller opens the product messaging endpoint and sees a new chat from the user. So the main idea is simple. Product chat is for pre-sale questions, while order chat is for communication after the purchase. Now let's quickly look at direct messaging. This is for starting a private conversation with a specific user. For example, on an LMS website, a student can contact a tutor. On a directory or listing site, a visitor can contact the author of the post. Here I'm adding the Start New Chat widget to a single post template. For the recipient, I'll resolve the user dynamically as the current post author. And for the context type, I'll use direct chat. On the front end, the user opens the post, clicks Start Chat, and gets redirected to My Chats page. Here the conversation is simply between the visitor and the post author, so the chat item shows the username and the message time, without extra post or order context. Now from the author side, the post author opens the My Chats and sees the new direct message from that user. Post messaging works in a similar way, but this time the conversation is tied to a specific post. This is useful for listings, booking items, properties, services, or any post-based content where the user needs to ask about the exact item. Here I'm adding the Start New Chat element to a listing, but this time I choose Post Chats as the context type. Now when the user starts the chat from a listing, JetMessenger keeps the post context attached to the conversation. So in the chat list, the conversation is not just user to user, it also shows which post the message is about. And you can decide how to organize this on your site. You can have separate pages for direct chats, post chats, product chats, and order chats, or use the My Chats element to show all context in one place. JetMessenger also includes email notifications. In the settings, you can enable notifications for new messages and, if needed, for newly created chats. The email subject and body are editable, and you can use dynamic tokens like sender name, chat URL, last message, or context type. And together with context routing, this is what keeps the system organized. Order chats, product chats, direct messages, and post-related conversations can all be routed to the right chat area or displayed together in one inbox. Besides that, JetMessenger also supports media attachments, notifications controls, privacy tools like data export and erasure options, and rate limits to keep messaging cleaner and safer. So JetMessenger is not just a floating chat box. It is a private messaging system where chats are connected to the right order, product, user, or post. And for product orders, that is the main point. The communication stays inside WooCommerce where it belongs. This is the first JetMessenger release, so your feedback is very welcome. Thanks for watching, like, comment, subscribe, and see you next time.